What I didn't know was like my little co-stars, and I've done some other things too, of course, but I had like a co-star in Burn Notice, and that co-star afterwards, my residual was making more money than someone who's a lead on Orange is the New Black.
Because Burn Notice was on like what, USA or TNT or TBS?
Yeah.
Orange is the New Black was on Netflix, right? When
Yeah.
the first show, they all got screwed
I
money-wise.
can't believe it. And so I didn't know that. I thought that as an actor in this industry, that it's just, you just got to hustle and pay your dues and then you'll do it. And then what was happening is that a lot of actors weren't talking about it. They weren't speaking up because it was very like, hey, you know, just do what you got to do. We got to survive. And also the writers. I know a lot of writers that like, I mean, they created these huge epic shows and they can't even afford a 1-bedroom.
I know. Isn't that crazy to think that? Because of the streamers, a lot of times the model they had set up is all in. The network or that streamer company pays you one-time fee, and then in perpetuity, they own your ass.
Right. You owned. You just owned.
You owned, yo.
You like in a toxic, abusive relationship. You just own. And a lot of people were like, how does life and dating coaching go with acting and filmmaking? How does it not? And it's the same way, like even when I coach clients on how you date and how you get into relationships, when it's ruled by an insecurity or by a fear underneath, you actually wind up aligning with and attaching to and jumping on projects or jumping into situations or relationships that are actually awful for you. But because I was being driven and ruled by financial insecurity that I wasn't going to make it as an actress, scared that I, wasn't good enough, or I wasn't pretty enough, or I wasn't talented enough. And that would also get me involved in really toxic, abusive relationships too. So I'd start to get some success, I'd start to do well. And then all of a sudden, because secretly underneath, I like hated myself, wasn't doing well, had alcoholism, had addiction, I'd wind up attaching to a toxic relationship and that would knock me out. It took like getting knocked on my butt.
Yeah.
And finally taking a hard look at that. And then it was like, okay, now making decisions. Is this in alignment with me?
Right.
Does this serve me? Who are the people around me?
What are 3 qualities in a woman that a man should look for?
Emotional availability and maturity.
Okay.
You want to find someone that's in alignment with that. So if you're looking for casual, find someone looking for casual.
Okay.
If you're looking for a relationship, do not waste your time if someone says, I'm not really looking for anything, or I'm not sure, I just got out of a relationship.
They're telling you to don't come to me.
Guys might get attached and you might have a situationship later and potentially a relationship, but if that foundation was rocky to begin with, they weren't actually emotionally available, you're screwed later on. That will come back to bite you in the butt because they'll go, oh my God, I told you I wasn't ready.
Right.
And how are we in this? I'm not ready. And then they'll leave. And you're like, what happened? So that's one, emotional availability and emotional maturity. Number 2 quality is how they speak about themselves and how they speak about others.
Oh, that's very true. It's very good.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they're constantly just bitching about everybody else and all that. You know what I'm saying? So I see what you're saying. So those people are kind of not so good to be around because you know that that's going to come toward you at some point.
Oh, 1,000%. Here's another one too. How they speak about themselves. Oftentimes with guys and with women too. Women have that, I can nurture him and he'll love me and he's never met. And guys have, I could fix her. When you hear a woman say things like, I don't love myself, or I just don't know what I'm doing right now. Oftentimes a guy can feel like, I want to feel like she has a purpose and I have a purpose and I can teach her. Because women love to be taught. Not like that. But a woman wants to learn something. Yes, so does a man. But someone who's already doing the work on themselves. So that's a tricky one. When you hear those things of like, I don't love myself. They can't take compliments. They push their compliments away. They hate themselves. They don't know what they're doing in life. That is a dead ringer that if you give them love and they have a bottomless pit that they're just not filling that trap door themselves and filling themselves up with self-love. You can't love someone until they love themselves. Eventually what happens is that's an indicator of a limiting belief.
Okay, yeah.
And what's going to happen is they're going to sabotage the relationship. If someone doesn't love themselves.
Because they don't feel they're worthy of it.
Exactly. And they're going to prove themselves right either way.
Right. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes, exactly that. And you can't force, you're not their God, you're not their daddy.
Right.
You ain't the papa.
You may be their sugar daddy, but not their daddy.
You might be their sugar daddy. They might be calling you daddy in bed, but you ain't the...
Okay, that's good. Now, that's the third one also?
I don't know. Let's see. That's 2. Number 3 is someone that you feel is a partner, not a project.
Oh, good. That kind of goes back to, I can fix this person, or I'm going to mold this person to this thing here. This is going to be perfect. I can then bring them home, show mom and dad.
Yep.
Okay. And so find someone who's already at that place. You're not planning to do anything. I like this person the way they are.
Yes.
Warts and all.
Do not do potential, because what it is relationships are mirrors. So it's going to reflect in you what's going on inside of you. So you guys as a team are going to be able to go, hey, I did this thing and I didn't do that the best way, or I didn't communicate this the best way because I got triggered here because you said this, it reminded me of my dad. Okay, let me work on that and heal. How can I do better here? And you're going to want a teammate that's going to look at the mistakes as an opportunity for growth and lift you up and go, oh, hey, listen, this is what happened. This is how it made me feel. This is what I did. I'll work on that. Let's do this as a team because I believe in you. I see you. I love you for who you are. We're going to make mistakes. Let's see what that means. Because typically in a relationship, the fears that you face there, the insecurities you face there are directly proportional to what you're also facing in career.
Yeah, it's crazy. I didn't realize that connection was so much there. Wow.
Like, subscribe, comment.
What are the main blocks that you see in people?
A lack of acknowledgement that what they've been through actually is affecting them.
Okay, so that's good. So past tragedies or past drama, they're like, oh, that's not a big deal. Say, sure, I had, I was going to say something really bad, but.
You're right. Sure, I've gotten beaten for my whole life.
It's not a big deal. They were thin belts. They weren't thick belts. It's not that big of a,
deal. Someone else got a different belt.
Yeah,
I shouldn't complain that I got belted.
Mine was pure leather. There were no studs on it. No, I'm fine. It didn't, but you're saying that stuff is somehow in that. Wow.
Yeah. And you will consistently and continuously walk into things that will pull that out of you, such as people who dismiss you and diminish you too. Let's say that you are someone that dismisses your pain. What happens is you'll wind up being around people, especially on set or filmmaking or any career that you've got. Sure. You'll accidentally pull people in, get around people, get a boss where let's say that you say something or you share something and it actually is important. And they're going to go, no, not like that. No, that's not it. Stop talking. Oh, that's not it. Oh my God, you're making it up. You're too sensitive. Jeez, you're so dramatic. You're going to keep getting around people like that over and over.
And those people, they're doing that because
you dismiss yourself. So you're naturally going to vibrate at that frequency and pay attention to, attract in, get attached to people who are also dismissive.
Wow.
Until you go, no, actually, this does matter. I know what I'm doing. And you know what? My dad beating me, it didn't matter the size of the whip. It hurt. I didn't need to do that. When you actually do start shifting internally, your external shifts. So when you change internally, your relationships with other people change, how you view the world changes, and also how you treat yourself, what you eat changes, how you take care of yourself changes.
Yeah.
So when people say, just be authentically you, and you're like, well, what the F does that mean?
Yeah, what if I'm naturally creepy?
Exactly. So that does mean undo the things that you went through.
Right.
Heal the things that you went through, right? Exactly. Because there might be things that you might be overcompensating for, and your fears might be causing you to be either really creepy or not even flirt at all. So yes, when we approach a woman from behind, especially in for years and years and years, a lot of people didn't know that 80% of women get sexually assaulted, 90% are sexually harassed. When a woman jumps, and anyone too, if you scare anyone, their hearing goes out because they're in fight or flight. So that's why they can't hear you. That's why they'll look at you like, huh?
Really?
What do you want? Because they don't know if you're danger or if you're not yet.
I never knew that. That explains a lot.
Right?
Like, subscribe, comment.